Hi, spiritual realtor. Loop, Sherry. Uh-oh. I'm gonna sneeze. Hi, Rory. Hi, Shalina. Hold on, guys. Phew, phew, phew. I had to sneeze. How are you guys? Thanks, Rory. Hi, Shalina. Hi, Noah. Hi, Anthony. Hi, WW3. Marie. I don't know if it's my phone, but it's like foggy. Sorry. Sorry, guys. I was just trying to clean my camera. See it? It's, you know what? It always does that at first, WW3. Right, Shalina? Always, right? Hi, Anna. How are you? I'm good today. I think that made it worse. Maybe need a cloth. Yeah, you know what? I'm trying to see if I have anything. I used to have, like wipes in here, but I don't have any. I didn't want to lick my finger on camera, but I don't know. And you know what? It's also like hazy too, right where I'm at. I don't have one wipe. Hi, Tail. I think it is. I think it's the way the sun's shining in here. It's making it like that too. Was just tapping the screen and it showed one likes. Oh, that's the best when you look at it at that time. I was just talking to my daughter about that. She's like, I told her like for me it's like whenever I see 222, like that's I just call it my number. And she's like, what does that mean? She's like, I always see 555, and I'm like, it means what you want it to mean, right? And I just tell her whenever I see 222, it just I always say it's like a thumbs up, like keep going, you're doing good. Hi, Becky. Hi, Lily. Hi, Tim. Hi, real estate guru. Manifestation. Yeah, angel numbers. People always say, like, oh my gosh, did it get dark for you guys? Oh gosh. You know what? I just hope that I'm getting good connection. That's what matters. Lily, yeah, so you just stay calm because when you start to practice, you have to work on yourself, Lily, more. You have to focus on you, right? Because if you're honest with yourself, you know that you shouldn't be feeling upset if somebody didn't respond to you, because that means you're still not understanding that everything's always working out for you, right? Do you get that? The more that you do this work, the more that you practice remaining calm, the more that you focus on feeling good on your own without the manifestation, you focus feeling good in your everyday life, then you would never even notice that. Your attention would never be on that, oh my god, they didn't text me back. And I'm not making fun of you, we've all been there. You wouldn't care. You wouldn't think twice about it. They would text you back when they text you back, and you would think nothing about the time in between. But it's because you're still focused on a manifestation. You're still focused on needing somebody to make you feel better. The more that you feel better on your own, you don't care about those things anymore. And that's when things actually work out for you. Does that make sense? have used to use, so just keep focusing on yourself. Anytime you feel that like you're not getting a response back, you just do stuff for yourself. Just what can I do right now? What can I do that feels good? Let me occupy my mind because that's what you want to do anyway in a relationship. You don't want to always needing someone else to make you feel good. Thanks for the likes. I have my hotspot on. You know what, guys? Can you give me 1 second? I just got to figure out how to clean this off. 1 second. Hold on. I'm just moving this real quick. All right, that's better. I had to use my pants real quick to make that clear because it was just so foggy, so I just used my clothes. Sorry about that, guys. How do you stop negative thoughts about manifesting from Liz? Calmness. That's it. You meditate more. You practice calmness, which is moving slower, breathing slower. Do breath work. When you're remaining calm, this is the thing, Elizabeth, when you're remaining calm, nothing is manifesting. Nothing is picking up momentum, right? So you base it on how you feel always. Always base it on how you feel, guys. If you don't feel good, you just remain calm. Doesn't matter how long it takes to remain calm in that discomfort, but you keep remaining calm. You meditate, you quiet your thoughts, you do breath work. It will pass. And that's you moving closer to what you want. That's always the practice, and that's always going to be the practice, right? I know that sounds so simple, but that's literally all it is. And things start to just work in your favor. Things start to line up. Things start to make sense. Things start to get clear. So just know negative thoughts can never manifest if you're remaining calm. Nothing has power to pick up momentum when you're remaining calm. Did I say hi to you, Becky? Trying to figure out career moves, but also let myself be guided. Resistance is tough when making decisions. So if you're having a spiritual realtor, that's indecisiveness, right? So if you're not sure or you're not clear, you just keep remaining calm. Be okay with where you're at. That's the answer to that question, and you'll get clear as time goes by. It's all about remaining calm. Whenever you have that indecisive energy, that energy does not feel good. When you're not clear, when you're indecisive, when you're not sure if you should go here or go there or do this or do that, or I'm not sure what I want to do, and you're feeling that concern, that's all resistance. In those moments, the only thing you have to do is just stay calm. You'll get clarity because you got to think to yourself, you're already set that clear intention that I'm not sure, I'm undecided. So just that alone is you're on your way, right? And the main thing is just being okay with where you're at, accepting where you're at, knowing you're going to be led in perfect timing to your answers. I had an amazing day too, relaxing, productive, all is well. I love it, Water. I did your advice last night when I felt panicked, and today I had. Oh, I love that, Becky. And Becky, use it all the time because your life's going to change. It's one of those things, and what I've learned over time, just from doing this practice more and more, is that you just start to trust the process. You start to not force anything. You just relax when something doesn't feel good. It doesn't matter how it looks or how it seems. It doesn't always feel good what's happening, right? What's happening doesn't always feel good. That's something you have to also know, is that when these things are happening and they don't feel good, right? Because it's a reality that you don't want to experience anymore, but you're accepting it in that moment by remaining calm. And knowing that it did serve a purpose at one point. That was your life at one point. And you're just remaining calm, and it'll all work in your favor. It's helping you line up with your new reality in the most easiest, effortless way possible. You'll be able to take action so much easier. You'll be able to make those decisions, those harder decisions, so much easier the more you do these practices. They won't seem like hard decisions because you're confident either. So when I say you'll be able to make those harder decisions, they're not hard decisions when you're more confident and you know where you're headed. Focus ADHD, keep doing these practices. That's what I did. You just do these practices, focus a lot on yourself, focus on being happy on your own. That's what it comes down to a lot. ADHD is you just want to be like being your own source of happiness, not needing something outside of you to make you happy for a while. So I would always say to that, focus on you. Remain doing the practices of, remaining calm and, feeling the best you can in each moment. And when you don't, you just remain calm. It's really, that's it. That's really all you're doing. Everything else will just fall into place when you understand that you're moving towards your manifestations in the best way possible and your best life in the best way possible. Managing health anxiety. So just anxiety alone, if you start a meditation practice and a breath work practice, you are going to see major changes in your life. Not only that, when it comes to anxiety, also moving at a slower pace, when you find yourself panicking, when you find yourself, getting upset or anxious at all, that's resistance. You just move slower, you breathe slower, you say, I'm not going to rush for anyone, I'm going to go at my own pace. Right, Kevin? It's literally that's what, but here's the thing about selfishness that I think is so funny. Everybody is selfish, right? We're all selfish. We're all, like, people say being selfish is wrong, but that's what we all are, selfish. The difference of this now is that you're learning how to tap into your higher self, the higher power, not needing someone outside of you to be your source, right? That someone needs to do this for me. It's about you tapping into that, inner guidance, your higher self, and that's what's leading the way. That's what's doing the work for you, right? Where we're all selfish by nature. We're all selfish. So when people say, "Oh, you teach selfishness," that's what Abraham always says. Yeah, but everybody's selfish, but most people are seeking outside of them to fill their needs. That's the difference. We're learning how to step out of that so we can tap into that inner guidance, which is going to, I just had I posted in my private Facebook group this really cool story that nothing was working. My phone, I wasn't able to upload none of my lives. I wasn't able to upload any of my TikToks onto my YouTube. And my phone was just not letting me do anything. All of a sudden, I had no space. I stayed calm. I said, you know what? Normally, I'd be asking for help. I'd be asking somebody to do it for me, do this for me. I'd be panicking. I was like, you know what? It's just not meant to be. Maybe there's a higher, better reason why this isn't working right now. And I let it go. The next day I woke up and I said, why didn't I ever think I can do this all on my computer? I can upload these on my computer. So I sat down, took me 2 minutes, went on TikTok and YouTube on my computer and found all these cool little things that my phone doesn't have on those things. It led me to something better, and it was so easy to upload them. So just by saying it always works out, this is happening for a reason, it led me to something better, right? So it wasn't me asking somebody to help me. I had that guidance that led me to that in the best way possible, right? I kind of posted that story today because I've been telling you guys that people have been saying, "Oh my God, your lives, you're not uploading your lives." And I'm like, I know something's not working and I don't know why, right? And I tried messing with it for a little bit. And I'm like, this just isn't working. It's just not meant to be. And I just let it go. Right. And then, like I said, the next day I woke up and I was like, why did that pop in my head? I can do this all on my computer. I never once thought of that ever. So that's that higher guidance, right? You know what, sweets? You're so right. I always used to say everything always worked out for me. I never knew how, I never knew why. And I noticed that when working with more people and just helping you guys out, and not even watching other people seek it, like asking so many questions about this, it comes down to that I never told anyone my problems. I always kept things within. When something wasn't working in my life, if I was worried about something, if, things were just not going right, or if I was depressed or going through something, nobody ever knew it. Nobody ever knew. People would have thought that I was always happy and smiling because I kept those moments to myself. I went within, and by staying calm and not speaking them into existence and keeping them active with other people, it just always worked out for me. And I still worried too. I still had doubts too. Sometimes I would say, I don't know how this worked out for me, but it worked out for me because I always kept my problems to myself. Okay, Shalina, right after this, I'll accept you. But it's really cool when you look back to see how, like, I could see why, like, things just always fell into place, right? So, spiritual realtor, yes, it that's old. That is like outdated. That's outdated teachings. And yeah, if you speak about your things back then, it was like, oh, you're holding your emotions in, and you're holding it in, and it's staying inside of you. But not when you know that you create your own reality. Not when you know that now. Otherwise, okay, yeah, you can speak about it and you can vent and cry, but when you understand that's reacting and that's repeating, you're not going to do that anymore. So that's why I tell people, I'm like, you know what, you can do whatever you want, but if you know you create your own reality and your thoughts create your own reality, and by talking about these problems all the time, you're just going to keep experiencing them. That's up to you, right? So the way that I talk about it, remaining calm, is a graceful way to move out of those lower energies, right? You're trusting in a higher power. We didn't say 10 years, 20 years ago, trust in your higher power. It just stay calm and trust. People would think you were crazy, right? Well, now we're saying you go within. It's all within. The answers are all within, right? You have a higher power leading the way. You couldn't say that 10, 15 years ago. You went to a therapist and you spoke about your problems. You cried to your friends. You vented to your mom. That's where we were. That's just outdated. I say outdated teachings, but that's just outdated information. Because people always say that to me, but I'm like, but do you understand your thoughts create your reality? Like our thoughts create our reality, and if you're giving something too much, you're putting too much fuel behind something, too much energy, too much focus, you're going to keep experiencing it because that's just how life works. I mean, and that's just my way. Listen, you can talk to people about your problems. I just say, for me, I never did. And things always worked out for me. And trust me, I had a lot of things that came up in my life. And calmness and keeping it to myself and not venting has always had things work in my favor. And I'm perfectly fine and I'm a happy person, right? So I just know that for me, that has always worked. And it's obviously worked for other people. But now I understand more of why that works. I understand. It's because if you're getting upset and you're telling people, especially two people, okay, you go see a therapist and you say, this is happening and this is happening and that's happening. All right, well, next week you're going to see a therapist and just say, so how is it? How's everything going? Is that still happening? And we're just keeping that active. I can't wait to go to my therapist. I got to talk to them again. And you're kind of using them a little bit as a crutch, right? To like, and you don't trust yourself in the process. But I don't think that it's wrong to see a therapist. I think that if that's where you're at right now and that's helping you, that's okay, as long as you're aware that you're moving towards better now. So you'll eventually get out of that, right? So that's why I tell people, don't stop taking medicine. Don't, if you're being abused, don't stay in the abuse of a relationship. That's where you are. You're still understanding this. Not only that, you now know you're moving towards better, right? Like, it's okay where you're at, accept where you're at, but just know you're moving towards better. It's a gradual change. So if you're seeing a therapist, but now you know this information, there's a difference. You're going to start feeling like, okay, wait, I see how this is not working in my favor too much anymore. Let me speak differently about my problems. Maybe you'll go in and you'll say it more neutral. Talk to your therapist more calm, and you'll say, you know what, I'm realizing things are starting to get better. Things are starting to, and then you'll just realize you don't need them anymore. Ha, Matt, yes, I am. Hi, Christine. Hi, Bridget. But I also never would ever tell anybody to stop seeing their therapist. I am not saying, like, little kids, like, let's say young kids that don't understand this. A therapist may be needed for them to help with other things. Therapists are good in many other ways. They can help you um they can help you with other things. Like, they can help you with, maybe doing things that you're afraid to do, right? With other issues and stuff like that. So I just say for the idea of talking about your problems, that's it. Therapists are good in many other ways, but the idea that you're going to talk about your problems to anyone does not serve you. And that's it. That's all. It's just talking about your problems. That's all. But they can help in so many other ways, right? Like I would never say like a young child that is not able to process their emotions at the time and they don't understand any of this, but a therapist might be best for them in that moment, right? So it's always about trusting what's best for you in that moment. Yeah, spiritual realtor, that's true too, right? You're that's they do therapists really do look for the solution, right? More so. Yeah, Becky, like there's a lot of mindful therapists today that know about this information. I actually had therapists that seeked my information with their clients and used my information for their clients and it helped their clients. So it's about like working together, right? And expanding our minds and knowing that there's better ways and there's, easier ways. I personally, Lily, I think when you're like really tapped in, tarot readers are awesome. Not to listen to them all the time, but let them pop up here and there, and it will reflect back to you where you're at. I think if you're tapped in, they're great. They're very helpful tools for you to like build your confidence and to let you know you're on track. Because remember, everything's reflecting back to you where you're at. So you can use a tarot readers as guidance. Now, would I go to one and pay for one? Absolutely not, but they're all over my news feed all the time. So I use them to my advantage, right? On here. So Elena, then you have to stay calm. That's just reflecting back an insecurity within you and that, right? So for you, it's like, no, I know the end. Just think about it, Elena. You know how it ends. So why would that even concern you, Elena? That's now it's time for you to keep focusing. That to me would say, okay, that's information. That's information to let me know I got to focus more on myself and practice calmness. Meditate more, do breath work more. You already know the end. So this shouldn't concern you. The more that you know it's done and you focus on yourself, guys, this stuff won't ever affect you at all, right? So to me, that's saying, okay, I got to focus more on myself. I got to focus more on me and be my own source of happiness and just reminding myself that what I want's done. It's already done. This reality already exists. You could tell I talked about this hair yesterday and it obviously I didn't wash my hair because it's still there. Yeah, Becky, I just always never want to like say that they're bad because they're not bad. They serve a purpose, right? I just think it's important to once you understand this information, to just know that be aware that when you speak about your problems stay active. That's really all it comes down to. Hey, Mike. How do I use tarot? Well, it depends on TikTok. I don't know what your TikTok's like, ADHD. Like your TikTok is pretty much, the stuff that it's just like manifesting. It's basically the more you think about something, the more it pops up. So I always say like for me, my TikTok, if a tarot readers pop up, I use them to my advantage because it's always reflecting back something positive. Like oh, you're positive, you're confident, you're right on track, right? So tarot readers on TikTok randomly pop up on my news feed. I use them to my advantage. I'll put it in my favorites, right? Oh, it's telling me that I'm right on track. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, blah, 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 whatever it may say. Yeah, Elena, that's jealousy. So you're still you still got to do the work. You got to focus on yourself and 100% be your own source of happiness. Don't talk to your friends about anything. I know that sounds horrible, but you can't. You got to move in silence. You got to move in silence when it comes to your manifestations. You got to move in silence in life. I'm just going to be flat out. Like the same thing people say don't talk about your manifestations. Don't talk about your problems, guys. Like, you move in silence. You speak when you feel like it's the right time to speak. I like, it sounds bad, but seriously, you literally got to move in silence along this journey, especially when you're learning this information. And because you're just keeping that active by telling your friends, like, about your life and your relationships and your personal life. I try to keep as much as I can personal. I love it, Sherry. I love Neville's quotes. I don't follow Neville, but someone else on my that follows Neville, that always comments on my videos, always throws out a Neville comment, and they're always so awesome. I love them. And I never really followed him much, but I know a lot of his stuff is like good, and I love his quotes. Listen, Elena, you just keep doing the work. It gets easier and easier and easier, and it'll start to make sense the more you do it. Just always reminding yourself it's done. I'm moving towards it in this very moment, accepting where you're at, making the best of where you're at, right? Focusing on yourself. It's always about putting you first, right? But none of it, hi, BB. But none of it actually makes sense until you do these practices more, right? Until you do practice calmness, till you meditate more, breath work techniques. Doing these practices, things start to get clear, things start to make sense to you. Does she talk about that? Is it Latoya? I think, I don't know if it was Florence that wrote a book that said life is a game or something is a game. And one of my ebooks was that. And I'm like, I think someone else has that title. So I had to look it up to make sure, like, I wasn't copying something. But oh, thanks, Mike. I hope yours is too. Don't manifest or seek tarot readers universal powers. Demonic, seek God and you will get more. It's okay if you react. It's okay. Reacting is just letting okay, this doesn't serve me anymore. That's all reacting is. But remember, you know this information now. It's different than before. It's different than, like, I say that with therapists and suppressing your emotions, and all these things are outdated. Reacting is okay. Reacting is helping you. Reacting is serving you, because when you react, you know what doesn't serve you anymore. You wouldn't know unless you did react, right? And now you're aware of that, and now you just keep practicing calmness. This is how I always say it, and I will still say it to this day with how much my life has changed. You're using everything in your reality, everything that doesn't feel good, to help remain calm, to help you remain calm, to help you practice non reaction. That's you moving towards your best life and your manifestations in the best way possible. And let me just say, it will happen fast when you use. And here's the thing, when it doesn't feel good, it's not supposed to feel good. Like, people are afraid because it doesn't feel good. Resistance, oh, it doesn't feel good. That's normal. You just move in silence. It'll pass. It'll make sense. You'll have a level up from it. You'll have a ha ha moment, right? Something will click after you work through that resistance in silence. And again, it's going to happen. It's going to keep happening, but it's going to get easier and it's going to get better. Your life is also going to get better and it's going to get easier. And you're going to get to a place where you understand resistance. I mean, it's not even scary anymore. It's almost like you bring it on because you understand it's expanding you to more of who you want to be. You get it. You understand why you have it now. You understand why you drop in those lower energies for a minute or two. It's expanding you to more of who you want to be, right? But at first, we're afraid of it. We're afraid of it at first because it doesn't feel good and we don't understand it. And we're still living out a lot of our unfavorable experiences. So all of it's kind of just a learning experience. But remain calm in those moments. It gets easier. And I'm telling you, the more you do this and the more you use everything up in your reality to just remain calm and practice moving in silence and meditating and doing breath work and moving slower and quieting all the stuff that doesn't serve you anymore, out of your life, the news, social media, saying no to things that you used to say yes to, your life will change so quickly, so quickly. And stop and look around. How much has your life changed? I guarantee you it has. It's just a lot of times we're too focused on what's not working still, even though so much is working, so much is shifting, so much is changing for the best, that we're still focused on the things that aren't working. Take a moment. Take a moment and say, oh my God, look how much I have changed. Look how much has changed in my life, right? Right? It's not, you're not exactly where you want to be yet, but you're never going to be exactly where you want to be because you're always going to be growing and expanding. That's why it's better to just make the best of this moment, knowing you're always moving towards more. I love it, Sherry. Thanks for sharing. Guys, Sherry, I put those up, pin those. I like those. Sherry's sharing some really good information, guys, about transmuting energy and those lower energies and all that. It's useful, it's important, it's information. It's guiding you to it's guiding you to everything. So do you see the reaction and stay calm, then shift to everything that is not dress. I don't like try to I don't take action or anything like that, dress. It's more of, okay, something is unfavorable is happening and it doesn't feel good right now. I just get really, really calm and I kind of just, I sometimes the story's there and I understand the story and understand what it's moving me towards, but it took me a while to get to that place where I see what it's telling me. I never really tried to figure anything out in the beginning and I don't recommend it at first. Just let that run through you. You'll feel better and you'll keep moving forward. There's too much going on in the beginning and it's like information overload at first. There's a lot of stuff that you really don't have to figure out, but as you get closer and you get closer, I don't say closer to, yes, to you moving towards like your best life and it's really unfolding for you, you know exactly what doesn't serve you anymore. It's very quick and short lived. But in the beginning, yes, reacting, I would just stay calm. I wouldn't try to figure anything out. I would just relax. It would pass and then I'd feel better. And that's the name of the game. It's if it doesn't feel good, I stay calm. I stay silent. I do breath work if needed. I just sit with it for as long as I need to. I do my normal chores and whatever I got to do, but it might not be comfortable. I keep reminding myself everything's always working out for me. I don't have to figure this out. Remain calm again, relax my body as much as possible, let it pass, and then I move on with my life. I know that I just overcame something that didn't serve me. But again, the more you do this, like now, when resistance comes up, I know exactly what it is. I know exactly what it is that's moved me closer to who I want to be now. It's very clear because my life is now unfolding rapidly, like the way I want it to now, right? But so now resistance, I understand it so much better. It's like, oh, okay, I'm definitely, I get why this is happening. And it's easy for me to just make a decision and move out of it pretty quick. Does that kind of make sense? Hi, Cece. So you are way too invested, Elena. You are way too invested in this. You're still looking for it. You're checking social media. You're if you seek this, you're going to find it. Your awareness is in the wrong place right now. You have to if you can take step away from that 100%, block stuff, stay away from stuff and work on yourself, or you're going to keep experiencing this over and over again. I can tell you right now, Elena, your focus is in the wrong place and you keep looking for stuff and it's got your attention too much. It's dominant and it's dragging you in. It's dragging you in. You're finding things that you, what is it like if you look for it you'll find it, right? It's one of those things. That's how life works in general. So if I were you, I would just cut everything. That's how I am, but that's you have to make that decision. I'm just like, nope, it's not serving me right now. I'm focusing on me. resistance is just Resistance is anything that doesn't feel good. That's all resistance is, right? It's just a fancy word for anything that doesn't feel good. It's when you're not feeling good in that moment and you're reacting basically to resistance. So when something doesn't feel good, it's resistance. But it's when we resist it, we're pushing that discomfort away from us instead of relaxing into it. And how you react to resistance is you complain about it, you get upset, you're like you react. You just react. You get upset, you get angry, you talk to people about it, you say, why me? Why is this happening to me? This can't be happening. So that's resistance is a lower energy, but why it continues is because we react to it, right? We resist the present moment. You don't want to resist the present moment. You want to relax into the present moment. You want to accept the present moment. Thank you for that. That's me trying to explain things in the best way possible, guys. Thanks for that glitter badge. Because again, Elena, you if you knew it was done, you would never be doing any of this. You would never let this take your energy, right? I always say, like, this is your energy. It's so valuable. Don't waste it on things that don't serve you. You know how this ends, so you wouldn't be entertaining any of this. If I always say, if you really trust in yourself and you really want to start to trust in yourself, stay away from all the things that don't serve you. You know where your life is headed. You know it's headed towards best. You know it's headed towards greater things. You know this manifestation is done. Take your attention away from this middle stuff that doesn't serve you. It doesn't feel good for a reason. And that's why I say you have to make it about how you feel. If it doesn't feel good, you take your attention away from it. You remain calm even if it has your attention. If it has your attention, which that means it's in your mind, you just remain calm. Of course, someone parked right next to me and they're just chilling, probably waiting for someone to be picked up, but that's okay. Crying has helped me a lot. I feel better afterwards and know why then, and I forgive myself and laugh. Oh, Shami, yes. Oh my gosh. I used to cry all the time. And it, like I always say, when you're crying, you also stay calm in those moments when you're crying, right? And you just, you say, like, it's okay. I'm allowed to cry, right? And you release that resistance. And like I think that's that you said that you laugh afterwards. I used to always laugh after I cried. And to me, that is such a good sign. If you can laugh after you're crying, or if I would get really angry, and this was just by myself in my car or wherever, I would laugh afterwards because I knew it wasn't serving me, but it felt in that moment it was something I needed to do, right? And I would laugh at myself, like, really? Like, who the heck you screaming at? No one's in here. You're in your car. And the more you do these practices, you really don't cry anymore. I'm telling you. Yes, I think it plays a part in while you're understanding this and you're stepping out of these old unfavorable stories, but eventually you don't cry. You cry more in gratitude and appreciation for things. Oh, I'm so excited, Alicia, that I can. I'm so excited, guys. I just tell you guys, when I woke up this morning and I had the, like, what do you Kier, you can post these on through your computer, duh. It was like I got so excited, and the fact that it was so easy to do, and then I found all these other little things that I didn't know even existed, but I was only able to see them on my computer and not my phone. Like, you got to trust the process, right? I just let it go. It's fine. It's just not meant to be. No big deal. And that it was like, because there's an easier way to do it. And that's what I said today in that video. I said, everything's always working out for you, but you don't see it that way. You feel like this, it doesn't feel good. It's like, doesn't feel good that I can't figure this out. Why can't I figure this out? And we keep fighting it, and we force it, and we're trying to do all these things. But if we just let it go and we just relaxed, we'd be led to a better way, right? Yeah, Shalina, that's what happens. You start to have those tears of, like, look how far I've come, and start to appreciate that. You start to understand that you are being guided and protected, and you don't believe that at first, right? What does Bashar say? I bash everything, but he says, like, you're so you're so taken care of and provided for that you even have, or something like, you even have the right to believe that you're not, right? And until you start doing these practices, you start to see that you are. But at first, you don't see it that way. So, like, the more you do this, you realize you are always supported, you are always guided. I literally can bash a saying like it's my job. But I love Bashar. He says some really cool things too. Like you're so supported by the universe that, but you also have the right to believe that you're not supported by the universe. Like the answer's always yes, like no matter what. I love that too, that everything's meaningless, right? That's a gift. The gift is that nothing has meaning. And that's why I always say, like, people will say to put a positive meaning on things. And I made that video today. You cannot put any meaning on it and it'll work in your favor as long as you're remaining neutral. You just stay neutral, you just stay calm, and it'll work in your favor. Sometimes putting a positive meaning on something causes resistance in that moment, right? That's almost like an affirmation. But if you just stay calm, cool, and neutral, it will work in your favor. It just like I always say, it in the beginning, it takes a little bit of practice because you may still be slightly reacting to things, and that's why the stories keep showing up. But eventually, they do die off. They just don't have enough power to survive. Look at it like that. They literally don't have enough power to survive, right? By remaining calm, you give them no power, right? Yes, we give it meaning. But I even found it, yes, you can give a lot of things meaning, but I found it even sometimes at times to not even give it a meaning, just sit back and let it unfold and like that, and then it evolves in the best way, right? Yeah. So I feel like for me, perfectly like I've gotten so much better though over time with trying with explaining this. So I look at it as practice now. Even when I used to make TikToks and they weren't all that great, and I always say they were so cringy when I look back, it didn't matter because I didn't feel like they were cringy then when I was doing them, right? I felt like they were pretty good. Now I look back and I'm like, oh my God. But you learn, and I look at this, even you guys speaking to you guys, like everybody's always saying thank you to me, but I'm practicing as well. Like I'm really trying to explain this the best way possible to people. So I don't, I mean, yeah, it's not always perfect, but it is what it is, right? No, Heba. Everybody keeps asking me, Heba. I gotta manifest that because two people have asked me if my ebook has come that comes in audio. There's gotta be. My son is all into that stuff. He could probably help me or set me up with something so I could put it into audio for you guys. Because that would be cool. Even my next one that I'm working on, Release Resistance, it would be cool to have that in audio as well. I meditate every day. And I like to do it, Claudia, before I start my day. I always quiet my mind 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I don't really set a time anymore. I used to set a timer. This lady's probably like, this woman screaming into her phone. I got to pull away. She's, I didn't feel uncomfortable, but yeah, so I usually start 20 to 30 minutes and then sometimes I do it throughout my day. If I'm finding like that I'm like maybe a little tired or and I don't really want to do anything, I will meditate. I'll just quiet my thoughts and always before I go to bed. But I meditate a lot. I do. I just like it. I enjoy meditating. And I just focus on nothing, like nothing, no sounds, just complete empty space. I do just very simple meditations. I just like sometimes I used to listen to a fan noise, and I used to do like I don't know any kind of rain sound, but now I just do nothing. I don't listen to any sounds at all. Ebook my Heba my ebook is in my link. You'll see it right away. It's actually the first book there. First one down, you could click right on it and it'll let you buy it right off the bat. But I do actually want to look into that the audios. Two people have mentioned audio. I think it'd be cool. I want to do my voice because I did my first book that I wrote, Intuition is Simple. I had someone do the audio version, and it's like I don't know, it's not very authentic because it's not my voice. I still love it, and I listen to it, and I like it's amazing to me. But I think it would be nice, better if I could do these with my own voice, right? In the morning is super refreshing. Do you focus on your breath? I don't even focus on my breath. So I have some times where I meditate and I just really just get really into, like, just really relaxed and really go within. But in the morning, it's just literally just shutting everything off and listening to just nothing. And I don't even do anything as my day goes, like my morning as I'm getting ready. I even then keep it pretty quiet, right? As I'm getting ready and like getting, just getting ready for the day, I still don't really listen to much. I will say today though, I meditated and that's when I got right up. Usually I get ready right away. I went right to uploading these lives because I had that thought pop in my mind that why don't you do it on your computer? So I had to check it out because I was so excited. That was inspired. And I was like, oh my God. So I meditated, went right to that this morning and then got ready. I was so excited about that. It just really lets you understand that everything is always working in your favor. You just have to get calm and quiet to see that it is. Like, give it some time to work in your favor because you're not seeing it because you're too worried. You're too focused on it not working out, or you're too worried, trying to find the solution in the problem. But if you just get quiet and just calm, you'll be able to see it work in your favor. But I also have a ton of meditations, simple, they're called easy fun meditations in my playlist, and they're all just different cool meditations that, that have helped a lot of people because I think it's about really trying to keep your thoughts focused on that sound and not letting your thoughts take over. So that's how I meditated at first, and I still do to this day, is I keep focusing on that sound over and over again. And that's why I post like those cool little meditations because the sounds are so effective because you're just so focused on that beat or that sound or that noise, right? Some of them I have visuals where you can look at like something spinning or whatever. That's always helpful too. By remaining calm, and you just have it. It's an ongoing process and it gets easier as time goes by. That's how you're never going to get rid of resistance, okay? You're always going to have resistance because you're always going to be growing and expanding to bigger and better and more, right? But you're going to understand it the more you do the practices. Right now, you don't really understand it. You just know it doesn't feel good. You don't like it and you want to resist it. You want it, but you're not. I'm teaching you to relax into it because then it gets easier. So you don't ever get rid of it, but it gets easier and you understand it more. And you're like, oh, I get what this is telling me. I totally see this. It's telling me not to do this thing. I'm not going to that. Old me would have went, and I'm confident enough to make this decision for myself because I'm putting me first. So eventually resistance just gets so much easier and you just know it's moving you towards more of who you want to be. But at first it's scary. It doesn't feel good. You don't understand it and you don't like it and you want to resist it. You want to push it away. And the simple solution is just remaining calm and relaxing your body and meditating and doing breath work and doing all those little practices that I talk about. And I think it's going to be easier for you guys because you know now because of me and maybe even other people that jump on here that resistance doesn't feel good, but it should feel good to you because it's actually moving you closer to what you want. So start looking at it as a positive thing. Resistance is something you just relax into. And even though it doesn't feel good, it's not supposed to feel good at first. It's actually the best thing that's happening to you because it's helping you move closer to who you want to be. I love it, Dress. I love it. Is resistance the same as a negative thought? Look at my necklace. Nathan would kill me. As a negative thought or experience, is resistance the same as a negative? Yes, it's exactly what resistance is, sweet. Exactly what it is. It's a negative thought, a negative thought, story, or experience. Thought, story, or experience that does not feel good because it doesn't serve you anymore. That's why it doesn't feel good, right? That's all it is. It's unfavorable. And you're only just remaining calm. I know, and you know what's so great about it is that now I can post it. I can post it like as soon as I go home. It takes a little bit for it to process on here, but once it processes on here, and you know what's so great? I used to upload these lives on my phone. They took forever, and I never wanted to do it because you use your phone, right? And now with my computer, I can just let it upload. I'm doing other things. It's like it doesn't even bother me. It's so awesome. I'm so excited. Even when it comes to your teenager and your kids, perfectly imperfect, just keep relaxing, keep remaining calm. There are teachers as well. They're helping us release resistance as well, right? Trust me, the more you can just relax and not let it bother you, even when it comes to your kids, trust me, you're serving them so well by you also being confident and not judging them, letting them be who they want to be. Learning how to not really walk on eggshells. Like I know a lot of times with some of our kids, they're all different. You walk on eggshells, but don't stand firm in who you are. Trust me, they need to learn. They need to learn this as well, but they can't learn this till we learn this, right? So once we learn how to be confident in who we are and secure in who we are, then we can allow them to do the same, right? And even though it's hard sometimes because they're still trying to learn as well, we're all doing them such a favor by letting them go within and understand how to process this stuff too. Yeah, so I always say, Heba, that when you're reacting, you repeat. So I use the word reacting as repeating, right? But again, at first, reacting is necessary. It's necessary because you also need to be aware of what's not serving you. But here's the thing about reacting is you can remain calm and it'll just go away. So it's not like you're repeating it in your mind sometimes. It doesn't mean it's showing up in your reality, right? You're repeating it by thinking about it, by worrying about it. But if you can just remain calm and get to that neutral state, even if sometimes it's still playing out in your mind, it will fade out of your life, right? So you're using it to your advantage. You're using these unfavorable stories to your advantage to help you move closer to what you want. But at first, again, you don't quite understand it. Yes, it is contrast, right? It's experiencing what you don't want so you know what you do want. That's it. It's actually really simple. It's like on the other side of what you don't want is what you do want. And there's only two states. It's you either feel good or you don't feel good. And when you feel good, you're on your path. And when you don't feel good, you can still be on your path if you just relaxed, right? So a lot of times we don't feel good and we complain about it and we worry about it and we're like, why? And we vent to everyone and we just get so angry. But if we just relaxed a little bit, we would realize we'd still be on our path, right? It's that kink in the hose that I talk about. Sometimes if the water, you want to be in flow at all times, right? You just want to be in constant flow. But when you react a little bit, just a little, if that hose water's still coming out, you're still in flow. It might be a little chaotic, but you're still in flow. It's when you completely shut it off, right? There's a complete dent in it and you're just like, this sucks. My life sucks. And you're just telling everybody in the world how bad your life is. That's when you have that kink completely in it. You completely stopped your flow. If you just breathe a little, it's all good. If I would just relax a little, I can get back in flow. You know, I might be spraying all over the place, but I'm still in flow. And if I just relax a little more, I'll get more in flow. So you're only relaxing. That's all you're doing. I never heard that. Dress, complain, remain. I love that. I always try to find the right words, right? Because reacting is like they all have R's. It's so confusing. Resistance, reacting, repeating, reaction. Like it's like they all have these R's. It's like how do you explain this in a way to where it doesn't confuse the heck out of people, right? But it really and then relaxing, right? Don't resist, relax. Yeah, exactly. It's easy to feel like that, right? I think that's a big question and a big concern of people is that when they're not feeling good, they think they're manifesting what they don't want. But that's not the case if you just relaxed. If people knew it was just simply about keeping that moment to yourself and just relaxing as much as you can, you're still in flow. You're not messing anything up at all, right? But we worry ourselves and then we ask questions and we say, "Did I mess it up? Am I messing it up? Am I not going to get what I want now?" Right? Because a lot of people are still chasing a manifestation as well, right? So we don't want to chase anything ever. All we have to do is be us. It'll come to us. You want to be you as much as you possibly can. Everything will find you. Everything will come to you. There's no action involved, right? The more you put yourself first, the more you relax, you'll realize everything just comes to you. By doing everything I say, Dave, that's everything will come to you. Everything. This is moving you towards your best life. But I always say when it comes to money, never manifest money, guys. Never manifest money. You never want money to have control over you for the rest of your life, right? Make it more about just first of all knowing you're always provided for. You're always taken care of at all times. You're exactly where you need to be right now. Make it more, because money, it's just energy flow. I never knew what that meant back in the day when people say it's just money's just energy. Money's just energy. Well, it all comes down to that flow. The more you're in flow with life, money will just show up in your life. It's more about doing things you love, feeling like doing things you love, and keeping yourself in that feel good energy, remaining calm. Money will be a byproduct of it, but never manifest money, because that will always have a tight grip on you for the rest. That's still chasing something, right? Money will be the byproduct, relationships will be the byproduct, happiness will be the byproduct, all of it, of you just relaxing into resistance, accepting where you are, knowing you're moving towards more in this very second. It's not, you can't mess anything up. That's the thing. That's the thing. I don't want to say your name wrong. Batch, you can't mess anything up. Everything is a learning experience. Like, okay, all right, I spiraled and I told people, so what? Right now is a fresh moment. I'm going to relax now. All good. I'm going to go sit in the sun. Like, you literally cannot mess this up when you know this information, when you know you're moving towards more in each moment. No, I would say do nothing, Luke. I'd say do absolutely nothing. It'll come to you. You don't got to do a thing. You don't got to lift a finger. You just sit back and be you. You focus on you. You be happy on your own. You love your life to the fullest. You become the happiest version of you, and it'll all come to you. I promise. But again, that takes trust. So I always say focus on yourself. You don't have to do anything. It'll feel very natural. It'll feel so natural. No problem. Hi, Aiden. Another good strawberry refresher today. Let me see how long I've been on here. It feels like I've been on here for 2 hours. It's only been 1 hour. Remain calm. Just stay calm. Just stay calm. Don't let it bother you. Move on from it. If you can get yourself so calm to where it's not bothering you anymore, it's almost like that person's gonna not even know that fight even happened. Do you know how many times I've done that with my kids? Like reacted, or they got a reaction out of me or something like that, and I just stayed completely calm and just moved on and did my own thing, and they came out, "Hi mom, what are we having for dinner?" Like literally, you just don't acknowledge it. You just stay as calm as possible, right? You just don't let it, you just use it as a practice as well. If you're letting it bother you, you use it as a practice to help you stay calm. It really does shift, Dress. I think now it's that, like, this has always been me. I've always been calm, not really let things bother me too much. Things just always worked out for me. But now I'm aware of it. So now it's like obvious when I'm just remaining calm and I'm not letting things bother me, like things shift so quickly. That's why people say, like, what if I did this, or did I mess it up? Or you can't mess anything up. When you get this practice down, things shift in an instant. They shift just like that. So Morgan, in the living in the end, to me, there is nothing to live in. It's just I know it's done. I don't have a thing that I live in the end of, or a story that I say, or a visualization that I live in. I just know what I want's done, and I let it unfold and come in the best way possible for me without trying to have control over how I want it to come in, or what living in the end even is, or how do you live in the end. To me, that's overcomplicating it. For me, living in the end, it's done. Whatever I want, it's done. No problem, Morgan. No, no, not Vegas. My hair is so actually so greasy. I need to wash it. Yeah. And it's like, you're so aware now. When the more you become aware, it's a little weird, right? Because you're like, I know like I'm watching this like happen in front of me, right? Where before we were kind of just going through life. I always knew that my mood affected things though. Like I could see how things would like reflect back when I was in a happy, positive mood. Try the strawberry fresh yogurt. Oh, you like it. You like it. It's funny. So far, I mean, maybe some people didn't like it and they just didn't tell me. Anyone that has had the strawberry fresher has really liked it. And I laughed because I was thinking yesterday, I'm like, I get strawberry and water. Like I'm basically drinking strawberry syrup. Stay completely calm. I quiet my thoughts as much as possible, Dave. I move slower. I breathe slower. I just meditate. Just again, quiet my thoughts as much as possible. Say, there's nothing I need to worry about. I'm exactly where I need to be. Everything always works out for me because it always does. And again, eventually you won't wake up with resistance. I used to always wake up with resistance. I rarely wake up with resistance because everything just does always work out for me. It's like you think to yourself when you wake up, what am I even worrying about? I'm exactly where I need to be right now. Everything's falling into place perfectly. So it's like you kind of need to remind yourself, but I also recommend just moving slower, breathing slower in the mornings, not really just try not to like seek outside of you for that feeling better if you can. Just relax more, do some breath work if you need to. How do you believe when you don't really see it in the 3D? Well, see, Morgan, that's the name of the game. Right now we're trusting in the unknown now. And again, it takes a little bit of practice to trust in the unknown, but when you start to manifest, you see the thing is we don't see the bigger picture. What we want to. You're used to having control of things. Now you're not. You're letting go of control. So the more you start to manifest, the more you start to trust this, right? And the more you hear other people talk about it like me. Trust me, you don't want to know. Less is best. The less you know, the better. The better it comes in for you, right? So it's just about practicing it more. And the more you practice it, the more you're like, wow, it always works out in my favor when I pretty much don't worry about it. When I kind of like not let go, but in a way let go, like leave it up to like my higher self who knows best, right? And then you start to see how these things unfold so wonderfully that there's no way you could have done this for yourself, right? By thinking it into being. I had a circumstance and several people said it's going to be this or that. And I thought, that's them. Yeah, dress. That's why, again, like I keep so many things to myself. I'm so private. I'm so picky about who I speak to about things. Oh my God, I just seen the prettiest blue jay fly by. It is so pretty. I keep things. I am so private. Like nobody knows anything that's going on. Meanwhile, I'm on TikTok. You can find me. You can know what's going on in my life. But the funny thing is that no one really understands this, right? Because this takes a level of awareness to understand this information, right? And you got to be open to it. Not only does it take a level of awareness to understand what we're all talking about here, but it also takes an open mindedness to want to learn this, to want to be moved towards your best life, right? Sounds silly. Who won't want to move towards their best lives? But guess what? A lot of people fear that. They fear the unknown and they don't want to ask those questions. They don't want to dive deeper. They don't want to face the resistance. They don't want, and knowing that you don't have to do anything but relax, people are afraid of it, right? It's definitely an understanding. It's an understanding. But that is perfectly said. You seen that too, Shalina? That's so cool. You're seeing them too. Yeah, I just love that. There's nothing prettier. You're sitting here, I'm looking at the woods, and like this bird, this blue, bright blue bird just literally flies by. Like there's nothing. I always say I'm from Philly. Like you don't get to see that type of stuff around here. So when you do, you're so excited. I seen deer the one time walk. I wanted to catch it on TikTok, but I couldn't because there was like people like behind me. A whole family of deer crossed the street. Like to me, that amazes me. Like I think like everything's a sign. I'm like, oh my God, like the whole deer family. You don't see that in Philly. You don't see that stuff here. You seen it too? Oh, no way. I love that. See, we're all seeing the same thing. Even the one now when I like when I sit out in my chair, like I'm always if it's a nice day, I'm out on my chair every day. And listening to like the birds singing and like the woodpeckers and stuff like out there. And because I do have woods right behind me. You guys seen it in my one live. It's all trees back there. And listening to like them singing and stuff like that. I just love that. There's nothing better than that. Yeah, I don't know birds per se. Like I'm not like super accurate. I feel like one time I called something a the wrong thing. Someone was like, "No, it's probably not that. It's probably red robin versus a cardinal." I don't. I should probably do my research. But my daughter, like we were researching stuff about birds and stuff like that, and she was talking. We were talk like she was telling me that you know the male like the male bird 90% of like your bird species the male stays around the whole entire time while the mom like has the babies and stuff like that like he pretty much stays with her the whole entire time and the babies he helps build the nest they take turns building the nest and like I just thought that was so cool he stays around the whole entire time. Yes, Christine, I love that girl. It was a red robin. It was a red robin because I said so. Dress, that's funny. There's that blue jay again. He keeps flying. They're so pretty. You know what? I never get to see them fly like that. Oh, cute. The forces disappeared overnight. They changed their mind. Was celebrating that. Forces disappeared? What do you mean, Carrie? Like it didn't fall? It fell through? Are you saying? Oh, thank you for that, Shammy, for the rose. It with my calm, so sad, and then SP. So, Carrie, I mean, your comment speaks for itself at where you're at, right? You're having resistance right now, right? And again, like I always say, practice moving in silence as much as possible, keeping that those moments to yourself, relaxing into the resistance, right? Keep relaxing. You have to see things differently. I just made a video on this. It's not always what it seems. I always say everything's always working out for you, but you're just not seeing it that way right now. And the more that you remain calm, you'll start to see it that way. The more you keep those moments to yourself and you just relax as much as possible, you'll start to see it differently. But right now, you're not seeing it. You're seeing it as it's not working out for you, right? But it still is. If you give it time and you stay calm, you'll see that it's actually working out for you. It just takes practice. Just you're still reacting, Kerry. That's all. You're still reacting. You're not relaxing. You're probably practicing it, but you got to practice it more. You got to meditate more. You got to do breath work more. You got to move slower. You got to breathe slower. You got to keep these stories to yourself, Carrie. That's really important. I know we want to open up and express what's going on in our lives, guys, but it keeps things active in our lives. It really does. Oh, I love that, Gianna. Perfectly said, Christine. Fall into your body, relax, relax, breathe slower, move slower, right? That's what it is. We're in our minds too much. But again, you also got to know that this is a practice that takes practice. It really does. It's not, something that happens overnight, right? Sometimes you see things changing and then you're like, no, it's not. And yes, it is. And no, it's not. It is. It's all working in your favor if you continue doing these practices. And everybody's at a different place with this stuff and knowing this stuff and understanding this stuff, right? If we try to manifest a quicker sign, I don't manifest signs. If I have a question or if I need clarity on something, I just go within, I get really quiet, and it usually just pops up out of nowhere, right? It comes out of nowhere, like the answer to something. But signs are what you make them. I believe signs are what you make them. So if you believe that 222, like for me, I love seeing that number. That's just my number. I'm in alignment when I see that number. That's it. I created that, right? It's a difference of going within and getting clarity on something. When you're getting clarity on something, you're just relaxing, connecting to your, inner guidance in that moment, getting really calm, and it'll just show up when you least expect it. And you're like, oh, okay, I can see. It led me right to this. Use will all because yous are all hanging out here. Yous are all going to get there. It's all about going within more and trusting, that inner guidance and not needing that outside help so much, that outside validation so much, right? Asking more coaches, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing right? It's all going to come down to trusting yourself more, going within more, right? Meditating more, remaining calm more, relaxing more. It'll all start to make sense. So, Simi, you just have to know that exists for you, right? It's an understanding. It's an understanding of that concept that every possible reality exists in this very moment. So, a healthy relationship exists for you too. This ain't the one that you want. You're tapping into the reality that you don't want, right? So, you have to know and trust that there's a healthy one and you're moving towards it in this very moment and you only have to remain calm when something like this doesn't happens in your life, it doesn't feel good, right? Always base it on how you feel. This doesn't feel good. It's time to remain calm. It's time to focus on me more. I need to be my own source of happiness right now. I'm going to focus on me. It'll all unfold for you. How you get clarity on something is by, you know, if you're asking for clarity, you always want to make sure you're neutral, right? Get yourself settled down first. Don't ask in a panic because you won't you won't get the answer, right? So just get yourself real quiet, get yourself semi settled, and you can say, "Help me see this clearer. Help me, am I missing anything?" Right? Any question at all that you have, ask in a neutral state, and then kind of sometimes it pops right up in your mind. I just seen a red robin. um, just sometimes you get the answer right away. Like it'll just be like, just relax. Like that's always my answer. I always get, relax. You're exactly where you need to be. You may pick up your phone and it may come up right then and there, right? Sometimes it may not come up till the next day. But when you just kind of just relax and stay neutral, you get the answer you're seeking. It's about going within and asking in that neutral state. I love that, BB. Yes, me too. Me too. When I'm outside in my yard and I close my eyes, like I just visualize myself being like at the beach, by the water. Like I can just put myself right at the beach. But going within and asking questions, seeking clarity, it also takes a little bit of practice because at first you're not even, you're so overwhelmed by like information that you sometimes don't realize that you were guided to that, right? Because it's just information overload in the beginning. But the more you do this, the more you get clear naturally. So it's very easy to ask a question and get the answer just right off the bat, right? But at first, we're kind of overwhelmed at first with all this information. We're trying to get rid of all the things that don't serve us. We're trying to understand this, right? So you do go through a little bit of information overload. I think that's part of the process, right? Pushing out what doesn't serve you, letting in what does. I call it cleaning up your energy. That's how I always used to explain it to people. Like, you have to clean up your energy. No problem. But test it out. Like, everybody, test it out. Whenever you have like a question, or maybe even if you just ask something for the sake of asking something, everyone can use clarity on something in their lives, right? Go within. Get yourself really settled. Get yourself to that still place. Ask the question. Like, you could even say this. You could even say, in a moment where you're feeling bored, what would be best to do right now? You'll get an answer. It'll be right away. It'll probably be go take a drive, or vacuum, or clean your room, or like, it'll probably be something silly, but do it. Because if you do it and you follow through with it and you stay focused on it, you'll get led to something else, and you'll start to feel your energy moving, that like positive energy moving. Exactly, dress. I guess, Carrie, I guess that's what you call it. Energy work, if you want to call it that. I don't know if there's like, is what's energy work? I don't like, is there like some another definition? There's so many definitions for things that I get so confused. I don't really love labels. I think it's just so overwhelming when you're trying to like explain things to people, because it's like there's so many different meanings for so many things, right, in our world. Yes, that is so true. But you know, some people say like, you got to do the energy work, and I'm like, what do you mean do the energy work? Like I don't know. Is there a technique? Who knows? For me, it's releasing what doesn't serve me to allow what does. Knowing that everything I want is done, knowing that my best life, I'm moving towards it in this very moment, and I'm just releasing what doesn't serve me, and that just allows what does. I don't have to do anything to get the things that serve me, because on the other side of what I don't want is automatically everything that I do want. So it's simply just to make it about how you feel. When you don't feel good, you just relax, you remain calm. It'll pass. Remember, it's not comfortable. It's not supposed to be comfortable. But you sit there, but you're supposed to get excited about it because it's actually moving you closer to what you want. So you have to perceive it differently. Relax, breathe, do breath work. Don't try to figure anything out. You'll release it. And in that moment when you release it, you just automatically allowed something better for you in. So look at it like that. Once you get past that lower energy, sometimes it pops back up, sometimes it goes away, comes back, goes away, comes back, right? But eventually it will go away, and you'll have a day where you feel amazing. Well, you just allowed more of what's meant for you in. So you got to think about it. It's that simple. On the other side of what you don't want is what you do want, and that's it. And that's all this is. That's how easy this is. Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking because I know like energy work, like, or I'm gonna say people. I think it's still outdated. You don't have to do any of those things like energy work or Reiki, or any of that, right? I don't think you have to. It's all gonna lead you back to being able to do things on your own and trusting yourself. It's the fascination with logic and labels, right, Sherry? And I always never understood. I just was someone that never really liked labels and stuff like that because it was so confusing. And I'm not making fun of you, Carrie. I'm looking at like what you said. It's just like I know there's so many different terms out there, right? How do you know when to actually do something? Well, you can always be doing something. Like at first, in the very beginning batch, in the very beginning, I was like, what do I like to do? Okay, let me do this. I love having a cup of tea, right? It was almost like me initiating it at first, right? Let me go sit on my swing. It wasn't me. Maybe I was tapping in, but I don't know if I was tapping in because I wasn't very clear at first. So first the practice started out as like, all right, I did a lot of journaling in the beginning because I really enjoyed it, right? I'm going to sit on my swing. I'm going to meditate. Oh, maybe I'll paint my nails now. So it was mostly me, probably a little forced in the beginning of doing things I liked, but the more that I meditated and worked through resistance, the easier it got. Like it just was natural. It's like, and you start doing things you really want to do too. So that's what shifts also. So it was like, yeah, like I want to get up right now and go get this, this, and this and cook a meal right now. Like it's more inspired eventually and it feels natural. But at first it does feel a little forced. It's like, all right, I'm going to go, I don't know, go paint my nails or buy a nail polish. But I'm like almost forcing it a little. And I think that's why a big reason why that's a lot about with the ebook. I explain that because in the beginning you are kind of saying, what do I like to do? What are the things that I like to do, right? And you start doing more of those things, right? Forcefully at first. And eventually it just kind of starts to flow. And then you start bringing in what's actually really meant for you, right? Because now my day is like what I want to do, basically. And even things that I still have to do that I don't love to do, they always work out for me because I remain calm and I know they're going to work out for me. And I make the best of them. Like I sat this morning and I did all my kids like homeschool stuff that I have to get ready. And I was like having such a good time. And this is something that I just don't like to do every year, get it all together for them and because you have to show it to like an evaluator. And I'm just sitting there and I'm doing it all this morning and I'm writing it all out. But I was dreading this thing, but I stayed calm. I didn't let it bother me. Anytime I would think about it and I had resistance around it, I just would stay calm. I said, it always works out. It always works out. And this morning I was inspired to like get it all together for them. And I'm like, you know what? That went so well. And I had such a weight off my shoulders because I did it, right? So it is about really making the best of things that maybe you don't love to do, but you make the best of them. You find a way to make the best of them. They're not going to stay around forever, right? Sherry, I was so close to getting the donut with sprinkles. I was like, do I get the vanilla donut with sprinkles? I don't know if I should get it. I had to like pause because I'm probably gonna pick up dinner tonight for the kids, and I'm like, you know what? I'll probably wait, because I'm gonna eat dinner. But I was gonna get it, and then I said to myself, why are you waiting? Like, get the darn donut, and I didn't get the donut. I should have got the donut. I got resistance over a darn donut. I should have got the donut. You got it? Oh my God, my daughter loves it. And she's picky. Like she's not one to like love every type of certain cheeses and spices and stuff like that. So for her to like that must mean something. It must be good. Does that make sense, Batch, about like understanding when to actually do something? Like I totally get that. Because at first it does feel a little forced. Right, BB? They really should. If you have an issue like a sickness or an eviction, sick child, would you still move? Yes, I would, Batch, and I've done it already. I've done it already with all of those things. What's your other option? Because if you speak about it and if you worry about it, you're just going to keep it active in your reality, right? So I've had numerous of those things happen to me. I have a story for everything. Remaining calm, keep it to myself, knowing it's going to work out in my favor. Story may show up a couple times, but I keep staying as calm as possible. I do breath work. I don't tell anybody. I keep the story to myself. It goes away. It'll go away. It'll work in your favor. But again, you have to understand that your thoughts create your reality. You have to understand that. I have the app, and I am so bad with using the app. I am so bad with apps. I never use coupons. Like I don't. I got to use the app. I had the McDonald's app for a while. Stopped using it. No problem. No problem, batch. I know, you tell certain people these things that don't understand this information, and they're like, how could you ever if you had somebody sick, and they're like, but they don't understand this yet. And I understand that they don't understand, right? So for the most part, I won't argue with anyone. Sometimes I have to block those people because they just argue back. They just don't want to hear it my way. They just don't get it, right? And I understand that not everybody understands this. Not everybody understands that our thoughts are creating our reality. There you go, Sherry. I love a taco supreme. I love a taco supreme. Taco supreme with extra sour cream. Oh, I don't mind, Jake. It's nothing that bothers me though. What, you mean about the apps? It's nothing that I don't have resistance over it. I don't have resistance over the fact that I use it or I don't use it. It's not a big deal to me. It's not something that weighs me down or takes over my life. Trying to remain calm. Slow your breathing down, Jasmine. Just slow down. Just know that it's not really that comfortable, but the more you relax your body, nothing, you're giving it no power. You're giving it zero fuel, zero power by relaxing your body. Doing some breath work, do some breath work in that moment, and really just relax. Just keep relaxing your body. Focus on your breathing. Breathe slower, move slower. It's one of those things, like I've just never been a coupon scan person. I don't know why. Yeah, and someone asked me today, they said, is it normal to feel resistance for a couple days? Sometimes it is, right? There's no wrong or right. There's no wrong or right of how much you just know it's going to be released eventually. If you keep doing the calmness, it's going to be released eventually, right? Sometimes we're resisting a little bit more than we realize, and that's okay. It's going to take practice. There's nothing wrong with letting it hang on for a day or two. There's nothing. You are eventually going to release it. You might cry to release it. Who knows? But it will go away. You will feel better, and you are moving forward, and this will get easier. Oh, Christine, I love that because anything that I share with you guys, I needed to hear it too. So when I share stuff with you guys, it's because sometimes I need to hear it too, right? So, your reminders are my reminders are your reminders, right? We're all reminding each other. Because I think that's a big part of this is reminders, right? That's why every day, like someone said, I like your videos like that. Make them more like this. Or you should do your video more like this. And I'm like, listen, I can tell you right now, these videos are inspired. They're 100% inspired. I even made a video before and I didn't like the way I was like, oh, I don't like how it looks. I tried remaking it and I couldn't. I had to use the original because I can't remake a video. Like it flows. That's just how it is, right? They're like in more inspired in the moment type thing. But my biggest reminder is, guys, I promise if you keep doing what I say, your life's going to change. It's going to change, and it's going to change for the best. And this is going to make so much more sense as time goes by, and you're just going to be you're going to be more in alignment with who you are, and you're going to be more confident in your decisions. Sorry, there's a person in front of me. These people are all around me today. And it just gets easier. It just gets easier. And this is talking to someone that had many things that I knew, but see, I always knew. Maybe I can say that now, that I knew it was all going to work out. In that moment, I probably didn't see that, but now I can say that I knew it was always going to work. Do you kind of get what I'm saying? But to me, there was no other option. You got to keep moving forward. You got to keep picking yourself back up again, because what other option did I really have? Right? And the more you do it, the more you realize you are supported. Like your higher self is leading the way, literally leading the way. We just sometimes don't listen to our higher selves at first. And it's not because we're wrong. It's not because we're not, it's probably because we're not ready yet. And that's okay in itself as well, that you're not aligned to make certain decisions right away, right? So you're lining up with that, and you will eventually, and then you'll have the confidence to do it, right? That's why there is no wrong in this. You're exactly where you need to be. Like you are literally exactly where you need to be. Yes, so right, Sherry. All right, I think I'm gonna jump off, guys, and feed the children at home. I haven't decided on what I'm gonna get for them. I definitely want to do something easy tonight. I'm always craving Chick-fil-A. I kind of want Chick-fil-A. I saw SP on a dating app when I changed my age range. I wouldn't be agent. I wouldn't be focused. Your attention's in the wrong place with this question. I saw SP on a dating app. The only reason why you would know that is because your attention is in the wrong place. Your focus is in the wrong place. You have to focus on you, right? If you knew it was done, you wouldn't even, your focus would not be on this, right? You got to focus more on you. You got to feel good on your own. That's how you're going to manifest a relationship that you want, a relationship that you deserve, right? A healthy relationship is by making yourself happy, being your own source of happiness. Step away from any of this looking to see what they're doing. What are they doing? Where are they at? You have to know it's done. You have to know that reality exists. You got to focus on yourself. All right, guys, I'm going to go. Everybody have a great day. I had something in my throat there. Everybody have a good day. Maybe I'll be on later. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. You guys are so awesome. Thanks so much for helping me, guys. This was a breakthrough, especially. Yeah, so just think, no matter what, as soon as you feel that release and resistance, you had a breakthrough. Even if it was a little bit of resistance and you felt better, that's a breakthrough. That's an up level, right? Even if you had it all day and you feel better, that's a breakthrough. That's you releasing something. You're always releasing something. You're always moving forward when you're remaining calm. There's no other way. If you're remaining calm, you're always moving forward. All right, I love you guys. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of the day.